we are here with this special guest, an entrepreneur by heart for sure, Jordan Jones, and then we also have Tim.
Yes, sir.
This is a little Tim Timber. What's up, Jordan?
How's it going?
So let's. Are you excited about this?
I am. I'm so grateful to be
He's
here.
never done this, and we got cameras now. This is going to be like next level.
Pretty intense.
And you hear the little so
You got the lighting going on. It's a whole thing.
it really brings out your eyes. I'm super excited about
Well,
it.
it's actually the Okie hat I'm wearing because that's
Representative.
we rep Okie.
There you go. Are you born and raised from Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was born in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and then my parents moved to Moore when I was 3.
No way.
Yep. So
So what high school did you go to?
Moore, the original. Graduated class of 04.
No. See, I was 01 Westmore, so.
I wear my Okie hats everywhere because it did get me into a speakeasy in Colorado once. I was at a T-shirt shop.
Talk about some.
I like it. Yeah, I was at a T-shirt shop, and the guy working the counter is like, "You have an Okie hat? Are you from Oklahoma?" I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Me too." So he's like, "Let me tell you what. Go around this corner, and I kid you not, like you walk down an alley, you go into a barber shop, and then you have to give them a secret phrase." And then this book,
it's legit.
It's legit. Like, and they open up a
You're
bookshelf.
not going to Vegas and doing this. This is.
So we were in Durango. It's Durango, Colorado.
Yeah.
And so you walk down this hall, you walk down this alleyway, go past the barber pole, go in there, give the little girl the word, and then you open a bookshelf and you walk into a 2-room bar.
No.
It was so awesome.
Wow. Was there actually a lot of people in there?
It wasn't. Yeah, it was pretty crowded.
For a 2-man bar, I mean.
Yeah, 2-room bar.
Oh, 2-room.
But it was had a great vibe. I mean, a cool place to hang and sit.
That's really awesome.
I mean, it was legit speakeasy.
So, we have some here in Oklahoma, and it's like, they're not really speakeasy. I heard, isn't it Oak Tree has a really good one?
Do they?
Or is it the Greens?
The Greens, I heard, has one.
I heard the Greens, you have to have the code to get in there and a member to be able to go to it.
There's one down in Hefner somewhere, too. I think it's over in that little shopping mall that they have.
Oh,
down
yeah.
Like Hefner,
the Hamilton
area. The Hamilton. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great speakeasy.
Yeah.
If you like brandy ices, that's the place to get it.
Okay.
Anyway, we're way
How
off
about
topic.
you go back? Let's go back to who Jordan actually is.
Yeah, let's go
what
back
does
to
he do? How do we know him?
Jordan just finds speakeasy.
So Jordan actually didn't start as a painter, right?
No.
Just loved painting.
Mm-hmm. I actually, so my whole, 2017 was the year that I went out on my own to just...
And you crushed it.
Crushed it, yeah. So 2017, I was actually mowing yards while I was painting houses.
Okay.
I was running my buddy's landscaping company. And I tell you about the best job. Running a mower is the best job.
I hate mowing.
Man, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
The stand-up one or the actual
ride on, yeah.
Little John Deere one.
Got a great tan every day. So you sweat so much you can eat what you want and not gain weight.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you started mowing.
So I started doing that and started mowing. And so my wife being a realtor got me pretty well into the field. So I was actually doing also, when you sell your house, you're going to get a thing called a TRR.
Yep.
And that's basically everything that the seller wants you to fix for them to buy your house. So they're always negotiable.
You want to shout out her name?
Oh, Darcy Jones. Yeah.
They are ride or dies. I mean, them two are amazing.
What brokerage is she with?
She's with Wise Oak Realty.
Wise Oak.
Mustang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. My best friend's the broker there. So I shout out to John Gosson as well.
Yeah.
Because she was over there at Epic before.
She was at
right?
Epic. Yeah.
Okay.
She's been with Epic and Keller Williams.
Okay.
So now she's with Wise Oak.
I didn't know she switched.
Yeah. That's a while ago now, right?
Yeah.
It's been a little while ago.
It's been a couple of years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
You weren't
I
up
didn't
to
do
date.
my research.
It's
I
okay.
apologize.
It's okay.
So I would go through, I would give you, the seller, a quote to fix everything on your TRR, and then you just show up to closing, sell your house. Well, painting was always everybody's
Number one.
Number one, yeah. So I started doing bedrooms, and then I booked a couple full house paints that I would do. Just take some buddies over there and be like, hey, you want to work with me for one day and go get some help? And then 2018 is when I actually hired people to start helping me paint.
So you had 2 crews then? Or did you just have one crew?
One.
And you were running around doing all the bids?
I was doing all the bids. I was hustling. So I would paint your house with my 3 helpers, and then in the evening, I would change going down I-35 or wherever I needed to go and spray some cologne on and do all my bids in the evening.
So
that's smart.
That's
So
a
I was
true
just
hustle right there.
So working 12 to 14-hour days. Unless I didn't have a bid, then I got to go home early that day. But I would do all my bids in the evening.
Yeah.
Is this when you had the Honda Civic that you were doing your bids in? Or
No, that was
a
a
little
couple
later.
years later. That was a Honda Accord, sir.
Oh, okay.
And I missed that car.
My
No, you
apologies.
don't.
I
You
do,
love
too.
your
It's probably
dually.
great on
Come
gas, though.
In about 7 more years, when the statute of limitations goes away, I can tell you how fast I went in it. So
Okay, we'll let that go.
Okay. Yeah, let's pass that right now.
yeah,
But reality is, man, you did it because you liked it.
yeah,
And you're really good at it. You see the problem, you're able to do it, and what's really good about you is you connect with people instantly and have that connection with like homeowners or just in people in general. So that's hands off to you. I mean, I don't know if that's a natural thing or are you an introvert? You're not an introvert.
I'm
You're
not an
extrovert.
introvert. I'm totally an
I
extrovert.
do know you pretty well. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
why I'm
usually
acting like I don't.
We usually say bye like 10 times when we're leaving anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah,
time I
'cause we're
actually
gonna
got
keep
to
talking.
like talk to Jordan and met Jordan was at the Yukon.
The Yukon,
There was some event there.
There was a craft beer tasting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he had some mead beforehand.
Mead?
No, it was during the event. It was during the event.
Before and during.
What's
Okay.
mead?
Honey
a-
wine, right? Honey wine.
It's a very strong wine.
Yeah,
Okay.
honey wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they make it out. It's what do you call it? Fermented honey.
Got
They
it.
call it honey wine. Anyway, I had no idea that he was, not really there
Yeah,
when we were
and
talking.
A couple
So-
hits too fast. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
ate at the local, and stuff, and that was my first time I ever met Jordan. So,
Which I remember that. It was very good food.
oh yeah,
Well, shout
Yeah.
out to the local. They're good.
local in Yukon.
I'm trying to remember the first time I met you. As soon as I met you, we clicked. I don't know. I'm assuming it's when we went to one of the things for Gold Star.
It was a Gold Star event. That was the first time. That was a Gold Star event. Was the first time I met Tim.
But I don't think
And
you were
then
there
you
yet.
weren't-
I was
you-
not
you
there,
hadn't-
no.
You hadn't joined yet.
No,
This is before that.
Yeah.
but you weren't really involved in Gold Star. But Darcy
No.
was.
No, I'm still just an honorary member. Now I got Chris going, so actually we did get to say we actually are members.
Let's talk about Chris. So,
Yeah.
Chris, you got to bring him on. Was it
brought
last
him on
year?
May of last year. Yeah.
And he's the one
Changed
doing
the
your bids
game
now.
for you.
Yeah, so he's doing all my bids and everything, kind of letting me be outside the business and grow it from that aspect and trying to be in the business, because when you don't, until you make that transition, you can think you can grow all you want, but until you can get yourself away from the daily responsibilities and just being able to oversee, that's when you can really make the progress.
Where
Isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah, because
it
that's been the
happens to
same.
everyone.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been the
Like you
same.
want to
Yeah.
help everyone, you feel like you can't let that go, and to actually do it, and then you
Well-
go, oh, it's blossomed from there.
And I mean, my wife will be the first one to tell you I'm a control jerk.
No, you're not.
So it's like, that estimate, that's the first reaction to anybody to your company.
Right.
How you walk in the door, if you're late, if you're on time, if you're early, if you're late, are you calling them, texting them, saying, hey, I'm 5 minutes away? I
Right.
mean, are you before, because there's so many things to an estimate before you even get there. So,
because in the industry, for any industry, just showing up is
is the
minimum.
hardest part. Yeah.
is the minimum requirement at this point for us. But
And
if
I would
you go
even-
the extra steps, talk about your percentage of going up is doing the little stuff like that. So that's really awesome that you noticed it.
Yeah, and that's it's so true, because I mean, a lot of people, I get people that call me and I might be their fourth or fifth call, but I'm the first one to either call them back or
Yeah.
even answer the phone, and then for the first one that's actually going to show up at the door.
Well,
So-
painters
my
also have a
mind.
reputation of being crackheads too, right? The
Yes,
whole industry.
yeah,
right?
that or
It is a
that
thing.
or
It is a thing.
It's more alcohol still, typically more drunks.
So how do you screen
Versus-
that for you?
You just got to kind of trust. You just got to trust the process. So we bring everybody on as a probationary hire. So like Joseph, you're going to come to me and say, hey, I can paint. I've been doing this for 10 years and everything. The first thing I'm going to say is give me your name and date of birth, and we're going to check you out. And then from there, you can say, okay, well, what do you want to make? So either painters want to get paid per day or they want to get paid by the hour. Either way, it usually equals out 15 to 21 is about your average pay for a painter. Because some guys will say like, well, I want to make $150 a day. It's like, okay, well, what's a day for you? What time do you show up? What time do you want to leave?
Right.
And then kind of go that way. So you can figure out how long do they really anticipate working. So I always intentionally shortchange them. Okay. Because if they do want to work for you, if they really want to be, I call it being real about it, they're going to go up, they're going to go and show what they can.
Right.
Because let's say you want to come, I'll make 17 an hour. Okay, I'm going to start you at 15. And the quicker you show me you can prep, the quicker you show me you can paint, roll. We're not looking at sheen inconsistencies, anything like that in their painting process. Are they cutting in on a wet edge? So many different things to evaluate painters. So if they are good, we bump them up within 4 weeks.
Isn't it crazy? Everybody think they can actually paint. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a lot harder.
And the prep. Anytime it's a lot of paying for the prep and painting right.
Do you rather spray or would you rather roll?
Empty houses, we typically will spray, but if they're living there and everything, it's much faster to brush and roll.
I did not know that.
So yeah, because I mean, you're always going to have overspray, and there's been so many advancements in the paint industry to cut your overspray down, but it's always going to drift. It's always going to miss. So you have to cover everything in the whole house. So by the time you're done doing that, it's going to take you, my guys, a day, 2 days prep a house. When we're going in, instead if we're brushing and rolling, all we're doing is taping the baseboards and putting some paper down, covering the floors, and they're painting the first day.
Yeah.
So.
And your crews are like 100% you as well?
Yes,
okay.
Correct. Yeah. So everybody that does our work strictly does our work. So that's where we kind of win.
Yeah.
Because you can actually control when they're showing up and everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how many crews do you have now?
We're at 5.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
2 main crews or 3?
One is a 3-man crew. One is a 2-man crew. One is a 4-man crew. One's a 5-man crew. And then
you got a squad.
One is another 3-man crew.
So how does that responsibility kind of feel when you got to keep the crews busy so they stay with you?
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Home and garden shows.
So,
garden shows.
If I could have a home and garden show like last weekend, like every weekend, I've hired 10 more crews. Exactly. But you just really got to know to plan, really. And some of my crews, we're good about it. If I see it slowing down on our end, I'm going to tell them, it's like, hey, you might go book a couple side jobs just to get some money in the door. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I want to keep them loyal. But we're facing something this year that we've never faced before, where we're a couple of weeks out, and we got some jobs coming in, but it got a little thinner than what we liked. So we went through basically 2018. 2018 and 2019 were great years, and then COVID hit. Well, the government, what do? They give everybody money to stay home and stay at the house they don't like.
Yep.
So what do? We're doing repaints, remodels, and even 2020 and 2021, I kind of noticed you had 2 groups of people. 2020 were your stimulus spenders. Mm-hmm. They were like, hey, we got $3,500. That we're gonna paint the outside. We're gonna paint the living room.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something. And so 2021 was, we sat on all this money. Now COVID's kind of ending. We can go outside without putting something over our face. So we're gonna remodel the entire house.
It was very surprising, and the value of their house is just triple, double. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. In that time as a business owner, you didn't know what to expect. They're trying to shut everything down.
Right. Yeah.
And then you're in necessity or I mean, it was like, what do you do? I mean, you have to pivot. You don't. I mean, for me, like it was just me and one other guy installing units because everybody else had COVID. It was like, oh no. And then you just work through it. Did you have that kind of experience?
We had a couple of times where we had to do some rescheduling because our homeowners would have it or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and then my guys got it, and so we would we just kind of work it through like normal sick leave and postpone and just do what you can. I mean,
talk about a time to get through.
Oh man! And then I think there was one point in like 2021 we were booking like 6 months away. So like the jobs,
cool.
like I was looking at jobs in June that we wouldn't see till October, November on the schedule.
It's like a different set of problems, you know?
Yeah. Will somebody come in and get them before they get done?
Yeah, and that's kind of it.
That's the hard part.
Call them back a couple months and say, hey, are you still interested? Are you still ready?
Right.
I know you signed up with us a while ago, so.
That's a hard one to
So
navigate.
back to the role switching from working in the business to outside the business, or was there a particular event that happened? Can you think of one event that happened where you're like, hey, I've got to make this switch now that I've been putting off?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, there's not really. No, it's just
that's a hard.
It really just got overwhelming. I remember Darcy and I had a conversation. Probably, I want to say it was 2019. It seems like every year bleeds together. But I remember it was like November of 2019, and I was overwhelmed, and
that's a lot of stress.
It was a lot of stress, and Darcy saw it on me, and it was affecting everything at home too. So she was like, you need to hire somebody. And I was like, I don't even know, what does that look like? She goes, well, you need an assistant. And I was like, what? I've never had an assistant before. Right. Like, that's not what I need to worry about.
And what's her name?
Hannah. Hannah. So that's when Hannah came on board, and just kind of started taking that initial phone call scheduling. And that helped out a lot. Just being able to have,
because it was one less hat, you can set it down.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. And I'm glad you put it that way, because when you talk about making that transition, you're taking off a hat,
right?
So you're going to start with your sales hat, and your work hat, and
owner hat,
and your ad hat, and the owner hat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
So it's how many hats can you get rid of? So that Hannah coming on was that taking that hat off.
And said, you know that it's complete. Like, that's what's even better, that you know that it's out of your hair. She's going to take care of it, and then you can build the business even better.
Correct. Yeah. So that's
a lot, bro.
So that helped a lot. Just getting that initial phone call in and getting it scheduled, because that's really how overwhelming it was. I was ghosting people, not meaning to. Mm-hmm. I started this with the desire to help people, and that's still every day I wake up. Who can I help?
Yeah.
Like, well, how are we going to win today? And I mean, when you set your focus on being that contractor that everybody wants at your house. Right. We all know the bad guy. We all know the one that we never want to see again.
Yeah.
So
it's hard, and you've done really well with it. So you've done so well with it. You're like, let me start another business. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Let's just start another one.
Let's just start another one.
So what got you into the next one?
So it was just the right time, right opportunity.
Why did you pick insulation, though?
It just kind of fell on my lap.
Because you were foaming your...
Because we were foaming our house.
There it is.
That's what it was, yeah.
There it is.
It's like, well, the buy-in was relatively low compared to what people spend on the rigs and machines. Because, I mean, it's an expensive industry. So, like,
You have to know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing, yeah. And I mean,
are you open cell, closed cell?
Both, yeah. Okay. Full open cell, full closed cell.
So foam insulation. What he does.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of that one?
That's Freedom Insulation.
Freedom Insulation.
Yeah. Well, at the home show, like the booth in front of us was showing, it was a USA Insulation or whatever.
USA Insulation.
And the thing that we're kind of wondering about is, being afraid of popping, like putting too much in there and not having to wait for it to actually come out and pop in the walls.
Yeah. So that's always a concern about retrofitting, is that injection foam and everything like that. There is a thing that's I think it makes a little bit of a difference if your drywall is screwed on versus being nailed on, because that screw is going to hold a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
But I've seen some instances where people try to do that and they pop the sheetrock off the wall because that foam, I mean, it's expands. That's what it's meant to do at the heart of it. So
Seal everything up.
seal everything up.
So have you've done a lot so far? I mean, how long you've started that business up?
So we've been in it for about 7 months now.
Yeah.
We do primarily new construction. We just did our first attic conversion last week. We went and removed all the old blow-in insulation and did spray foam. And
So are you actually doing it, or are you?
A little bit of both. Yeah,
Okay.
I have sprayed a house and I've done a couple, and then I do have another guy that's helping me spray as well.
Okay. So you have how many employees on there too?
Just 3 on that one.
Man.
Yeah.
I told y'all it was going to be an entrepreneur here. This man is legit.
What's so one of the concerns that we heard with spray foaming like a roof, it's about leaks, right? And being able to track a leak. What do you what's your kind of response to concerns like that?
That's going to be a tough one.
Let's just wait until a couple months in. Let him get some.
You say you got 7 months in. Sure, you probably heard this before, right?
It's been brought to me before. Yeah. I mean, it's always a battle with a roof leak. Just as I would always start with checking like around your drains. Rarely are you gonna have a roof leak in the middle of a shingle. It's gonna be some type of exterior penetration that's causing that leak. So
the odds of that are pretty low.
The odds of it are pretty low.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of one of those water travels. So like water can run down a 2x4, like can run down to a sewer
insulation
pipe,
either.
Foam insulation.
Yeah.
It can run down anything. So I would probably just start with all your exterior penetrations and everything. I would like.
Are you going to be a roofer next?
No.
Okay. Are you
No,
sure?
you gotta get the license for that one.
I'm just saying, like I'm excited to see what happens next year.
But the next one, you got a gutter company, right?
We do have a gutter company coming on board.
Okay.
Probably about
Darcy
spring.
told me about this one.
Yeah,
so.
about springtime. So got 2 guys committed to it. It's just working on one
Fixing,
thing at a time.
replacing.
Full repairs, tear offs.
So instead of-
reinstalls.
Instead of hats going down, you're just like, let's stack them up.
Basically, imagine like a head for each business, and I'm just going to add this head and add another one, and then just start working hats back
Well,
down.
at least you know if the more people get involved in it, it's going to be easier for you.
Yeah, the quicker you can make that transition and that's what I do have a co-owner on the insulation company, and the quickest thing we realize is like, how do we make it run without us? So if I learned anything from JJ's and the years of struggles there, it's make that jump quicker than sooner. If you have a little bit of cash flow to back it, we believe in it. There's no other way to put it other than I saw an opportunity and I was like, well, I got guys that are willing to help. We can all learn together, and I believe in it.
That's awesome.
So
okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions. What actually like fills you up? What gets you excited? What makes you love life? Well, is it vacation? I know you like to golf. What is that thing that really? I mean, you can say your family, which would be probably the best thing to say. But
Especially Darcy.
Yeah,
especially Darcy. She's the first.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people like you're doing all this stuff. What actually takes you the time to fill up? Like I have moments like we gave a 5-ton system away and the lady started crying. I mean, talk about filling you up as a company. What kind of situation? Or you don't even have to say situation. I mean, you do like to golf.
I do like to golf. I don't mind a good cigar every once in a while myself. So, but I mean, for me,
like Michael Jordan style, the long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. True style, 2-finger hold.
Did you set up anything in your house to kind of accommodate that to where Darcy isn't going to yell at you for smell like a cigar?
It would be an outdoor shower if I did.
Oh, okay.
That would probably be about it.
So he wants to get a whole room.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like I'll probably look into some type of room in my shop to where it has a exhaust fan and everything, a ventilated area, and we'll probably build a little 10x10 smoking room.
Because kind of cold outside and miserable to smoke a cigar on the porch. Most of the year in Oklahoma.
Luckily, I got some pretty awesome spray foam in my shop, so it does pretty well.
Some ventilation, you'll be good to go.
A I love vacations. I love the mountains. Darcy
Okay.
loves the beach. So anytime we can get away.
Now, she likes to go like fishing, hunting.
She loves to fish, hunt. She hunts more than I do.
I know.
So probably, honestly, I got to go duck hunting 6 times this year, and that's about 6 times more than I have in the past like 3 to 4 years. Just being able
And
to
she's
have
probably
the
been
people,
12.
and she's she got a doe and a buck this season
What?
on the same day,
Wow.
like
That's impressive.
an hour apart, if that.
Because you have a really good friend that's a game warden. She does, or something like that.
She does, yeah. So one of her great friends is like the 3rd or 4th in charge for the Wildlife Foundation. So she got to go on a guided catfish fishing trip for a state senator fish fry.
Oh, wow.
She's like, hey, we're gonna go catch all. So
You
they're
didn't
out
get to
setting.
go?
No, what? It's always girls only. Like
No
so, like
way.
I'm just being that awesome dad, hanging out with the
Hey.
kids for the weekend.
It's a dad of the year.
While
Yeah,
she's
3,
setting
right?
20 jug lines and pulling 6 heads off each.
Goodness gracious.
I mean, they were out there running. They're
4 kids.
3.
No.
Oh. You have 3 kids, and how old are they?
12, 10, and 5.
There you go.
So
It's going to be nice when you actually get out of that 5th wheel too, right?
yes, yeah. Well, we're about 4 weeks from the house being done. So
Do you think that's going to like fill you up?
Oh my gosh, so much. Yeah. When your personal life is a wreck, it makes your business life a wreck. So
Okay.
just being able to focus on that and being able to get some stability back at home, I'm looking forward to the house being done.
I mean, y'all sit in there 2 years.
almost 2 years. Yeah.
Insane.
And
But
what was
we-
the initial thought though? You're all like, we're going to be in here for 6 months or
About a year.
A year,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We initially planned about a year. But I wouldn't, through everything, through all the heartache and the trials and everything, I wouldn't trade any of it because it just makes you so much stronger. So, I mean, we're
hands down,
Great
or
position.
hats off, because that's a commitment, man. That's some.
so it was just an opportunity. I tried to just seize the moment. It was this land came available at a great price, and we're like, hey, I literally went home and told Darcy, I was like, because we flipped that house in Tuttle.
Yeah.
I said, I've got 4 contractors starting in the next 3 weeks to finish this, and we're buying this land, and this is
Going
is
down.
going to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a quarter mile away from her parents.
Oh, even
So
better.
I mean, it's a 32-second trip on the side by side, door to door.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
He
timed it.
Yeah,
it one day. I
no
was like,
kidding.
we'll see. So
Let's
I started
see when I can get
started
there.
the stopwatch and just
Yeah.
ran up the road.
That's really cool, but 2 years on the end of it. Like, I know you like to throw parties for July.
Yes,
that-
yeah. So firework party. Oh man. So I'll put a plug in for this because I told Darcy she's
Especially in
trouble.
Mustang because you can
So,
go crazy.
You can go hard in
My-
Mustang now.
Oh yeah, my wife. We get each other in so many ways that it makes this such a joy because she can't stand fireworks.
Right.
Honestly, she'll go watch them, but she doesn't get nearly. That's if you talk about the thing that fills me up, it's fireworks.
There you go.
So besides vacations, and I'll put a quick plug into that. I like seeing people just enjoy their paint job when they're so tickled and it looks so beautiful. And I mean, I like lots of color paint jobs that you can tell a huge renovation.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see just and say that we're a part of that. But every 4th of July, so we make a rule. So I start turning some jobs for cash, like because when people will be like, "Hey, can I pay you this in cash?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll take care of my company. I'll pay my labor and materials, and then I put that cash in my pocket." So we get to go to the fireworks store, and the rule is I spend the cash that's in my pocket. She doesn't get to know how much is in there, and she doesn't get to ask, but I don't get to spend over it. No money comes out of the account.
Right.
So I did tell her she's in trouble that now I own 2 companies. They're going to be
There
having
you
cash
go.
Double
jobs.
fireworks.
So-
I need cash on every job.
So last year was the first year I introduced a electronic ignition system.
Oh my goodness.
So
we
we
you're
had
sitting at the porch
So
going,
we had, I was sitting on my iPad with everybody else because
no way.
man, it would take 2 hours to shoot off all that fireworks we would buy, just going one at a time.
Yeah.
So this time last year we had a timed 20-minute fireworks show that I got to enjoy sitting next to my buddies instead of having to run back and forth.
That didn't light. It didn't light.
It didn't lie. This one's on fire. And
Oh, yeah.
so you always have a fire. But this year I'll do it on a. I've already got a 20-foot flatbed
Ready
and some
to go.
artillery racks that we're gonna do it pretty big this year.
It
Okay,
makes sense,
then.
though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at the end of the day, thank you for coming. You're amazing. I hope
love
that
you guys.
you are very successful with everything you do. And, man, just it's an honor to know you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Likewise. Thank you
Love and
guys.
life.
Love life.